Shit. Here we go again. There we go. I don't know if any of the G brackets are actually like fighting though. Ours definitely isn't. NM49 UOD. They gotta be allies, right? Oh yeah, of course NM49. Yeah, I was gonna say. Have to be. Is YP there? Yeah, he is. Coco, Gecko. They're freaking stacked. Damn. Wait, why are they... Video 1, IWRI... Are they all allies? Huh. No, they're not. Interesting, I don't know. Interesting. Nope. Anyone got any active island raids? Ours is dead, so... Oh, Boone versus H&B, I forgot about this. Ah, shit. That was a good one, actually. I hate how the optimized mode like bugs out now. There we go. Millie Bobby Brown. Oh shit, here we go. Okay. That's an aggressive tower placement by Boone. What is Toby? That's what it is now. It's not Samuel, it's Toby now. Be interesting to see how this one plays out, honestly. Okay, so G4 is going to get active in a minute. How long do they have here? 7 minutes. Alright, we'll be back. Anything else going on over here? Anyone else getting active? Don't seem like it. Nope. G6, the place we wanted to be. Any action? Nope. Dead as fuck. Yo, IGG, you guys should ramp up the cement generation speed so the event is a lot more eventful. Please. G8. Ah, shit. Clicked off. Nada. Nothing, man. Shit's dead, man. Dead event. $59E fighting. Yep. Meaties. Please explain to me how MXO were matched with us in G13. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to explain that because, like, when you look at the rankings, I think we were ranked like 60, and then like DNTN, for example, right? They were ranked like 40. They were like 20 ranks ahead of us. We registered at like 7.8. They registered at like 9 or something like that. And we're in G10 and DNTN is in G11. So even though they were 20 ranks ahead of us, they got placed 1 G bracket behind us somehow. I'm not too sure. I wouldn't really be able to answer that, honestly. We've been trying to figure out as well. Like, we were hoping for G6, honestly. Like, even though we were like ranked 60. But we got placed all the way in like G10. They ranked 35th. We ranked 152. Yeah. Like, I really wish that I had explanation for it, man. Even like Prim with Pandas in G12. So, yeah. Yep. I don't know. You just got a couple top end heavies: Doom, MXO, Apather, Fap, Mata, or Mata. And then their leader. And then other than that, you just fill it in with a bunch of like 100 mils. And there you go. What'd they register with? 47? Yeah, I don't know. I think we registered with 43 players? 43, something like that. I don't know, man. I wish I could tell you. And none of it makes sense to me, honestly. But yeah, I remember you explaining that during your streams. I trimmed my files around him. Okay, what was I watching? I think it was like G4, right? G4 should have war going on now. Or close to it. Yeah, 3 minutes. What's the Boone Tower got? Let me click. 45 seconds. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I was on my other screen. Yeah, it just seems like the way that IGG is doing it now is like they're just pretty much putting like 1 to 2 like really strong alliances per map, and then kind of filling in the rest with alliances that are around the same. Like our bracket is like range from like 5.6 to like 8.6 bill, I think. And there's only like 2 alliances over 7, and the rest are like between 5.6 to like 6.5. And you kind of see that consistently with the other brackets as well. I don't really understand why they want to do like the whole like 1 to 2 strong. Like I'm sure it's to like make it to where you can have like 2 teams of 4 with like 1 strong team per side, which I can understand. But that kind of just like ruins the experience in my opinion. And in a lot of cases you'll see like the 2 strong alliances ally, and then it's just like the rest of the map doesn't want to fight at that point. What happened to that new whale from Doom? Not seeing him in a while. You talking about the guy that has like the brand new account that like spent a shit ton of money? Is that what you're talking about? Like the one that like I think like a couple people made a video on him or something, or someone made a video on him. Just like the new account that had like hundreds of thousands of dollars spent or something, like in a short period of time. Is that what you're talking about? Sorry, I'm kind of familiar. I think that's what you're talking about, right? So if I remember right, because I used to talk to him, or I had messaged him a few times helping him with stuff. From what I had heard, he had sold his account and actually bought one of the previously built whale accounts. I don't remember whose it was that he bought, though, but he bought somebody's established account and then sold his account. Which, I mean, honestly, like, that's probably the right thing to do. Save a shit ton of money. Getting a well-built account, and then if you're already spending money anyways, you can just spend that money optimizing instead of building it. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. It was Pooh's account. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. HORS, that's right. I didn't know what alliance he brought it to, but yeah, HORS. They're fighting with Rogue at the moment. Bro, did Hans playing game, or someone bought his account and changed his name? From what I heard last night, I heard that someone bought his account. So, I don't know. It could be true, it could be wrong. When I was in H&B last, playing AR with them against SSI, he was telling me that he was selling his account, but he was saying that he was going to wait until after the World Tournament, and then after World Tournament, him and Poppy were going to be quitting. But maybe that's changed. I don't know. That was the last I heard of it, and then yesterday I heard that he sold his account. Now, whether or not that means that he's still playing it at the tournament and then he'll officially step away from the game, or if he's already stepped away from the game, or I don't know how it works. I do know that Anyu, whatever her name is, was playing his account a lot, like up until he sold it. Yeah, that's the account in H&B. They're fighting Rogue. Are you talking about in G5? Like G5 Lost Rogue? Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking the player Rogue, or are you like just saying like Rogue in general? Like going Rogue? I thought you were talking about Rogue from Lost. But yeah, like Hans's account sold or is selling. I heard that Samuels and Boone was selling or sold. Ace officially sold his account last night, was what I heard as well. SSI Ace officially sold his account last night. And then I think Toto's still selling his, but yeah. A lot of accounts being sold, so it's kind of hard to say that the game is like dead. Like a lot of original whales are leaving, yes, but like if original whale accounts were like being sold and like weren't selling, then I would say the game is dead. But when you have people willing to spend that much money for those types of accounts, like there's still obviously interest in the game. Yo, what up, Kevin? How's it going? What up? You guys have any active G brackets, those of you in the stream? Ours is dead. Like, nobody wanted to fight, even though we offered like a 1v7, which is unfortunate, but it's all good. It was a complete mismatch. Like, we had no business being in G10. I don't know why IGG put us there, but I also don't know why Prim is in G12. I don't know why DNTN's in 11. I don't know why. What was the one you posted? MXO is in G13. Like, it just, none of it makes sense, so. It is what it is. We'll just wait till AR. Didn't save me by SSI Jinzo's account 2 months ago and took it for DHX for an event. Maybe? I don't know. I don't usually follow too much of, like, the upper bracket stuff. I only really know, like, initially of accounts being sold because, like, I'm friends with a lot of them or the original owners. So, like, they'll message me. I'm like, hey, man, do you want to buy it or do you know anybody who wants to buy it? Like, I got that from Hans. I got that from Ace. I got it from a few players. That's how I'll initially hear that people are like selling their accounts, but like who it sells to or what ends up happening with them, I don't usually follow too much. I do play in G14. There's Jason there. Nobody plays against her. Yeah, seems to be a common theme right now in the IR setups. Unfortunately. Is the game too loud, by the way? I can't really check at the moment. Can you guys hear my mic okay? I was trying to adjust the volumes earlier, but it was kind of out of whack because my last stream prior to this was Genesis War, and it was like super early in the morning, so I was just playing music. So, if the game is too loud, let me know. I can turn it down a bit. Are there any actual rallies going off yet? Or is it all just, it's all just field fighting? Millie Bobby Brown. Fuck, I think the highlight of Island Raid so far has been ROK's hold, man. ROK is insane. They're extremely smart with the way they were holding up. By Boyd Awakening doesn't trigger if the shield is... And the damage returned by Boyd Awakening doesn't trigger if the shield is damaged by Beast. Yeah, that's usually the case. The two combats are separate altogether. Yeah, it's been a minute. I mean, this used to be like the peak of everything, right? Was watching HMB and Boone. Is my might and kills plus armament set good for the age of my account? I don't know. 144? Depends on your spend amount and average G bracket you're in if you're on the more free-to-play side. What time is it in my place? It's 6:30 right now. 6:30 p.m. $6:30. Yo, good evening, Harvey. Did you have a good island raid? Do you have a good matchup? Any good fights or anything? Island raid seems to be just like a very hit or miss event. You either have like a super eventful one that like has a lot of non-stop fighting, or you have one that like builds up and like has a really eventful last day, or it's just a complete, like, boring fest, and there's, like, nothing to it. You just don't get any fights. I think that they need to adjust the event a bit to encourage it to be a bit more faster paced. I think that they need to at least double or triple the cement generation rate. It being so slow paced doesn't really make much sense. Like, there's no actual reason to keep it slow paced. You should have the opportunity to have a bunch of towers if you want before the middle opens, or encourage people to, like, build and fight. Because unless you're, like, fighting with, like, your direct neighbor or alliance that's, like, won over, you, like, won't see them until pretty much the last day or second to last day. I don't know. I just feel like the cement generation is way too slow. Are there any rallies getting set here? Let me ask. Currently have Stella with her third skill Transcended. I want to use her in Garrison with Riven. What order of skills each transcend the remaining skills? So if you want to Garrison with Stella, there's really only 2 skills that you need to have Transcended to, like, really make it work. It's your third skill, right? So then you have the HP and Garrison. And then after that, I would do the second one. Because... Oops. 1, 2... Is it... Is final performance her second skill? No, it's the dance one. Yeah, so this is her second skill. So the reason why I would do the second one is because, right, like on Garrison, you have the HP from the 4 skill, which makes sense, right? You remove the rally one. But one of the main reasons why Stella does so well on Garrison is because she has high skill damage and her War Will stacks, because her War Will stacks will generate a reduction in basic attack damage, and then obviously, especially if you're getting multi-rallied or swarmed, you can stack her War Will stacks really fast to keep proccing her 4 skill for the Rage. So the reason why I would do the second skill is because, or the Battle Dance one, the second skill I believe, yeah, is because you go from having a 30% chance on counterattacks to a 50% chance, which is almost a 2x basically, or a 100% efficiency increase. For how often you stack the War Will stacks, and there's no actual, like, cooldown on this skill at all. It stacks to 10, it procs the bonus damage, it starts stacking again. And so if you're able to stack them much faster, for one, you can make sure that you stack the basic attack reduction far more often, but then also that almost doubles the damage output of the War Will stacks proccing the rage the skill damage of her 4 skill. Because if you're stacking this much faster, then this damage output happens a lot faster as well. So yeah, I would increase this one to go from a 30% chance of getting War Will stacks to a 50% chance, which really helps in single target Garrison, to just stack it far more often. But then in multi-target or multi-rally Garrison, you're stacking them super fast at that point. So I would do, you said that you already have the HP one done, so that's the... Let me go here. That's your third skill. So I would go 3, 2, 4, 1. I believe is the 4th skill, right? Yes. It increases all damage by 8.5%. Because I don't think that there's anything... Yeah, because the first skill, you get like a 10% increase on her rage skill. But then the second part of it is, like, strictly for rallies, right? Is, like, really what you get from transcending it. So with the 4 skill, you get, like, the flat 8.5% damage bonus, which will increase your basic attack, your counter attack, and your skill damage, which increases this one plus your 4 skills. So yeah, I would go 3, 2, 4, 1 in that case. I haven't had a chance to Garrison with Boyd this island raid. It's been extremely boring. Like, we literally built here, took the 7, took the 7, took the 7. We're going up and taking this 7 as well. No one's really wanted to fight, so I haven't had a chance to Garrison. But
from the testing I have been able to do, Boyd is really good. It's not that he's like better than Stella per se. Like I think that Boyd and Riven will do good, just on the simple fact that like you'll have so much shield that it's hard for them to deal a lot of damage to you, and you can mitigate that way. But Boyd and Stella, for example, will have like extremely high damage output. So if you're already using like Stella Riven, Boyd Stella will do really well also because you'll get the 35% bonus skill damage, which again Stella has two rage or skill damages from her first skill and her fourth skill, so those are both increased by 35%. And then the fact that you bring a lot of shields brings a lot of survivability, and he offers good stats as well. So if I was you, I would just test Boyd and Stella and Boyd and Riven and just see like what you perform better with. It's going to be very situational based on your armaments and like your matchup, basically. So like if you're fighting someone far stronger, it might be more important for you to have more shield and more sustain with Boyd Riven, for example. Whereas if you're fighting someone maybe that's more on even playing field as you, or you're stronger, maybe opting for more damage would basically give you a better result, you know. So, no friendly fights for an hour. Okay, wow. I didn't realize this was friendly fights. Why the fuck is H&B friendly fighting boom? What world have I... What multiverse have I ended up in? Alright, never mind. G1 is fucking boring as shit. That's just field fights. That's fucking stupid. It's extremely stupid. So we'll go watch G1. 59E garrisoning. Yeah, no worries at all, Abe. Happy to help. I do think Boyd is really good in Garrison. He does get all three of his shields in Garrison, even though based on the verbiage of his skills, it makes it seem like he'd only get two. So the fact that he gets 3 shields in Garrison is really, really nice. And of course, he's like very high damage output. But it's hard to say who he's better with because I can't personally test. And just based off of what I've seen, it seems very situational to your matchup and your armaments and stuff. What I mean by that is that, like, for example, shield health scales with your attack. So the more attack you have, the more health your shield is going to have. And so, again, then it becomes more of a matchup thing. Are you going to take that bonus attack and scale more damage with Boyd and Stella to deal a shit ton of damage? Or are you going to take that and have even stronger shields with Boyd and Riven? So, again, I think that the dynamic factor here is just it's going to be based on your matchup. And really, like, multi or single garrison, rally garrisons. I don't really see too much of a reason to use Boyd Stella in a 1v1 on garrison because you want the multi-rally garrison to stack your Warwolf stacks fast. So maybe you have more of an advantage in multi-rally garrison to use Boyd Stella, and maybe more of an advantage to just have more sustain in 1v1s with Boyd and Riven. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I said, I haven't been able to test it yet. Haven't had the matchups. Is G2 fighting again, by chance? Or did they call a truce on this? They may have just called a truce on all this. Yeah, I think they have because their people are farming now. Dang, dude. Oh well. G3, I think, was the other one with UOD and NM49. They're both building inward. So this will be good eventually. Oh yeah. No, of course, no. Like no discredit to what ROK did at all. What they did was amazing. I didn't know if the war was still going on is all. I wouldn't be surprised if they conceded. I mean, like, if you know that you're not going to be able to push through 4 alliances on your own, like, in your position, then, you know, you chop up what you were able to accomplish as a win and move on to AR. There's no sense just continuing to burn through billions of resources if there's nothing on the other end of it. I'd say HB is pretty much just completely dominated that fight. G5. Anything fun or interesting? No. Does anyone have any active island raids that they're in right now? Is anyone's like island raid actually fighting? Does anyone have any G brackets that they know of that are fighting that we can like watch? Like I said, island raid's kind of a bust of an event, honestly. Just don't see anything else touching. No. Nada. Nice. Tired. Let's see, what do we got? Nothing. Let's go see if Panda's doing anything. No, Prim's sleeping. Merch going for the 8. Oh, maybe. Kinda. Lalo is pushing this way. I mean, kinda, but it's not really like anything to write home about. Moppy's trying to get back into the fight. Didn't Moppy have tower? Yeah, Moppy yesterday was like built like all the way around like this. Oh, that's crazy. They burnt all those towers. Interesting. Let's go see if DNTN is getting any business. Any business? Oh wait, no, they were in G11. Nothing. G14. Rat race. No actions in other regions. Or yeah, it's kind of what I'm seeing. Let me what are we at? G14. Let me send a message real quick. Let me ask some. Currently getting my ass handed to me in G39. Thank you. Are you over here in Hexy? Yeah, there you are. You're from MXC. Oh, nice. Welcome, welcome. Sorry, give me one sec. What was I thinking of here? Meat Wagon, are you the one that I talked to in Discord? Can't remember now. Combinations on your tower. Estelle Eileen didn't see you. It died so fast in that rock solid tower. Estelle Eileen against the Chasey. Sorry, one sec. I'm responding in the
Heroes and Armaments channel in the official Discord. Give me one sec, guys, sir. Rallies and swarms to destroy the rider. Okay. Sorry, let's go back to what y'all were saying. Didn't sell me 857, also an SSI. I just thought I remember seeing a meat wagon in Discord. I don't know. I'm terrible with names, honestly. I don't know. Oh, that is you? Okay. ROK is not going to win. Yeah, I don't think there was any thought that ROK was going to win. It was kind of just more their ability to hold off 4 or 5 alliances at once, which is really cool. That's kind of it. But I don't think it was like... I don't think people were rooting for ROK to win. It was just the fact that, yeah, like, the way that they played it. Plus, they have a huge strategic advantage of, like, where they are on the map. If they weren't here on the map and could have a tower on this side of the river that is completely in their advantage and has to funnel through here so they can use an AoE garrison to mop marches, it wouldn't have turned out like this, I don't think. But this is a huge strategic advantage for them in the position that they're in. We fucked it, bro. We're a 2v2 in center, but we've had to deal with IWRI. There's 3 or 4 strong accounts, and we busted our balls on decks all day. Oh, it's me getting smashed. I can't do much here. I just want to see what ends up happening. Like, give me something. What was the one you were in? G39, was it? G39, yeah. Oh, fuck. Okay, well that's kind of all but seceded. G14. What were we at? G17 or something? What were we at in our quest to try to find some action here? Some teams trying to wake up on the last day, it looks like, maybe. Bro, I'm fucking thirsty too. I need to go get water in a sec, sorry. I'm just trying to find something entertaining to put you guys on so I can go refill my water for 2 minutes, but nobody's fighting. I think for the last minute there will be action going on. Yeah, probably. So it's just that sometimes, like, you'll kind of get lucky and see teams, like, actually, like, fairly built out around each other in middle, and, like, they'll go for, like, middle wars and stuff.
but it doesn't really seem like there's much of that going on right now. Kind of seems like a lot of the wars were decided in the first 2 days. What the fuck is this tower setup? What the hell is going on here? Are you just trying to like spread out and have like resource reaping bonuses for your alliance all over? Oh, looks like they may try to cut F-13 here. What is this, G-21? I have to try to remember that. We'll keep looking. We'll keep looking. One towers are going down. There's so many tower reinforcements going up. What the fuck? Okay. 23. Yeah, I didn't really understand that tower build, but I don't know. I've seen weirder stuff. 24. Yes, sir. Yes, please. I'm being sent coordinates. What is this? Coco of UOD. Coco isn't from UOD, so Coco was from NM49. It's just that NM49 have continuously merged with UOD. But no, he's a part of NM49, so he's an NM49 with Yes Please. He's right here. It's just that he goes to UOD with Yes Please and the rest of them is all. Yeah. And I think that Yes Please is kind of dialing back some of the merges and stuff. I think that they're trying to do their own thing and get easier matchups from what I've heard. I don't know if it's like easier matchups per se, like it's still going to be Apex and stuff, but I think just like different matching and whatnot. I don't really know. I haven't really seen the full details on it, but do I know where is SAAS? I don't, but I'm sure we could find them. I know that SAAS is usually one of the... Aren't they like usually like one of the elite alliances? I know that we fought them a few times, I thought. Maybe I'm thinking of Pompeii though. I don't think that they're too far down the list though, I wouldn't think. Yeah, I don't mind playing in Apex, like we did it for a long time, right? So it's like it's nothing too new. But I don't know. H&B just I think it was more of like the timing. It probably wasn't a good time to merge with H&B. They had like a lot of their active players like Nom Nom, MP5 and such go to H&BA. I think Sarsi left at that time as well. Hans wasn't playing that much. So it was a really... Oh, they're right here. They're in G38. Addy. Um, so yeah, it wasn't that fun of an event, but we'll probably merge with other teams in the future. Like I'll talk to Yes Please from NM49 because we used to merge with them a lot, and we'll probably do merges with them. Kind of like how they were merging with UOD. I've also gotten a lot of requests from Amides from 59E to merge with them also, so you'll probably see us merge with them in the future too. Temp merges for events, who knows? We kind of just like doing our own thing. Like the thing with Apex is like it's definitely like challenging for sure. But so was like G6. It's just the difference of like G6 to G2 is that like in G6 you have teams that are like 20 to 30% whales as opposed to like 70% whales in G2. So it's a bit more realistic for the matchups that we have. Like I don't have every single player in my team as a whale, or the vast majority of my team is a whale, right? Like I have rally and garrison leaders and then T6 fillers behind them and stuff. But it's definitely not like an Apex type team quite yet. Yeah, I see Crypt. Yeah, Crypt is an SAAS or SAAS. We fought them. I was gonna say yeah, because we fought them in one of the ARs as well. Oh, Rally and Tower started. Let's go take a look. Okay, so here's what's going to happen, guys, really fast. I'm going to put the stream on H&B versus Boone on their Tower Wars, because rallies, I guess, have started on towers. And I'm going to be right back in like 4 minutes. I'm going to go fill up my water real quick. I apologize. I will be right back. I'm just fucking thirsty as hell. Yes, I will stream AR, though. I like streaming, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's just that, like, if it's a boring matchup like this is, I don't usually stream. Um, I usually just take the time and go hang out with my kid and go do something instead. But it is ridiculously hot right now. Like, it's unbearably hot. We can't go to the lake, go to the park, or do anything. So, yeah, since it's a boring event, I can just stream and spectate and stuff. But yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh, I just realized my mic is muted. I am so sorry. What the hell? I have my mic, cover or whatever on. Pop filter over the mic, so I couldn't see the light on it. My bad. I've just been sitting here talking to myself. Love that. G10 somehow. Oh, there you are. Which question? Oh, sorry, this one. Yeah, I've been going through a lot of messages already. Normally a match with, I don't know, 3 to 4 bill armament players. Last day I got matched against my Mo Plus set on Stella. This Stella. That's not bad. But I spend not much, maybe. Oh, wow. And it's kind of hard to say. Like I have a few players that haven't spent or have spent very little as well, and have like a 4 mil armament set, but they also like strictly focused on that one armament set, whereas maybe you spread out into more of them. I mean, 144, your account isn't much newer than mine, which is, I think, 134 on player ID. And your kills would just depend on, like, your matchups and stuff. Like, if you have easier matchups, I imagine, like, you should be able to get a pretty decent amount of kills. But at the same time, too, though, you can't really judge a player based on their kills too much. Like, you're either in an alliance that promotes and encourages a environment where a lot of killing happens, or you're just simply not. I've had people come into our alliance with very, very, very low kill counts and end up like doing really well. Like they're some of our best. So for example, Finn here, she came to our alliance at like 150 mil and like 16 mil kills. And now fast forward a year, she's got 108 mil, which isn't that crazy of a climb, but she doesn't really field fight. She literally just strictly like fills, which is why she has 32 million deaths, but also 53 million T6 kills, because she's just constantly filling towers and garrison, and she's just like one of the best fillers you could possibly get. So, yeah, like again, that's just kind of just like a testament to like a player's kills, deaths, and their performances and stuff. In a lot of cases, are reflective of like the alliance and the environment that they're in. So, I don't know. I don't see any issues with your account. I mean, like, if you're asking, like, should your kill counts be higher? Probably. But it also just depends on what kind of alliance you've been in this whole time. You know? I feel like Sophie Ethan would do better here. Like, I feel like the Ethan Louis thing is mostly for like if you're trying to have like field control and you're going to be fighting under the tower as well. Then Ethan Louis it up all day long. But I feel like if you're just taking a 1v1 rally, I feel like doesn't Sophie Ethan do better, I thought? Or from what we've seen? Yo, Laughing, if you're in the stream, can you send me the report of this garrison when it's done? Yeah, see that's kind of my point, right? Is that like if you're an alliance that isn't actively promoting and being built around like war, then it's like hard to judge a player's kill counts, right? Like for us, for example, right? Like we are strictly built around war events, and like that's like all we want to do. So we would look for players with higher kill counts and stuff, or get players to that point. But if you're just like switching alliances and stuff to play in an event, then it usually indicates that like, you know, that isn't like the most important thing on your book or the primal or like primary focus. I mean, oh shit, that sucks. See you later. Pop. That's not bad at all. It looked a lot worse. The AoE's doing good. Oh, this is just from the swarms though, huh? Oh wait, this isn't even from swarms. Who is just dying by the tower? Whoever this is needs to go check their hospital. They're just dying. They're not even hitting the tower. They're just getting hit by AoE. You're just standing there getting hit by AoE and your hospitals are full. Or no, maybe your hospitals aren't full. Maybe it's just doing that because you're getting hit by AoE. But still, move away from the tower. There's no damage to the tower, so they're not swarming it. They're just sitting there eating it. Like this guy got hit by 2 Louis, so you're standing there for at least 12 seconds? Like this is a swarm. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, give me one sec. I gotta send her a report. Damn. What were we watching too? That's why I tried Daryl's support AoE, because it caused deaths. Yeah, like if that's like what you're solely going off of, then yeah, it's solid to have like the AoE kill other troops. But like Louis doesn't have like the bonus HP that Sophie does. Sophie increase like she doesn't give the bonus rage regen, but you have like the lower rage proc, and then you also have like they take bonus skill damage. Like there's like the trade here, and it leans more heavily, I feel like, in the 1v1 with Sophie as an assistant as opposed to Louis. Now, like if 4KO was sitting here fighting under tower and field and just staying next to tower and using the tower AoE causing deaths as like a large form of damage for them on the field control, then I'd be like, oh yeah, run Ethan Louis, because like we do that plenty. We also do that plenty when we're like rallying a tower and we get counter rallied. Then we'll counter rally the counter rally with Ethan Louis, so then it's just mopping AoE as well on the field. We do that plenty, but I think it's very strategic. I was just saying that like in the 1v1 against a rider rally, I feel like Ethan Sophie would have been better. Well, that looks like it's over. Nothing on that side. Is there anything else I'm missing here? Anybody else got any like brackets to like watch? Ours is boring as shit, so if y'all got something to watch, send it over. Mod Dib? Who's Mod Dib? Is that... Oh, that's Hans's account, isn't it? Yeah, that's Hans's account, right? Yeah. I think. By the way, Z, does it make sense if I use the Crystal Penguin and the Gold one to support, or is it like Crystal and Golden Sabertooth better combination? Yeah, I mean, using the two physical beasts together is totally fine, especially if you're on Garrison or rallies. Then yeah, that's totally fine. And then once you get your golden one to at least like tier, I would say like tier 5, preferably tier 7, then put them as lead, and then put your crystal one behind them as support. But yeah, running two Pangos together is totally fine. No, it's not that they shouldn't run together. Like, it's honestly totally fine to run together. It's just that you get a lot more versatility running multiple. And it's not even like element really based. It's mostly just like attribute based. What I'm mostly talking about is that like Pango, for example, has high crit and counter, like the gold Pango. So if you have high crit encounter with Pango, and then you pair that with something like Otachi, who also gives like high crit damage, for example, right, as a support, then that's like really, really good because you have high crit chance. And then Otachi gives, I think it's like 80%, or yeah, I think it's like 80% crit damage total as a support beast.
So it's just that there are really good other combinations. Like Sabretooth, for example, offers crit damage. And so if you have a high crit chance because of Pango, then Saber brings a lot of extra benefits outside of just, if you're combining two Pangos, I think you get like bonus attack as a support. Whereas if you use something like Saber or Otachi, you have like crit damage bonuses and such. So it's just that there's other good synergies to put together is all that I was really saying. Yeah. See, so you have crit chance here. You have counter. You have combo. I'm assuming your combo's coming from trips. Yeah, combo's coming from trips and stuff. So Saber offers crit damage or gives additional crit, but then also has crit. I think when you level it up further, you'll get crit damage. Yeah, as you level it up further, you'll get crit damage from Saber. So yeah, that's where your synergy comes from. Plus, in order to proc this right here, it's when the active skill deals a critical hit. So because you have a crit chance here, and you're getting crit from the support skills, and then also crit right here, things like that, then you'll make sure that you proc this more often too. So it also just depends on what your support active skill procs from. Oh. Anyone else got any other G brackets to watch? Yeah. Yeah. Here, I can show you. So 1200, 1205. I can also swap this one to this one. I think it's still 1200. I don't know. On Garrison, I kind of rotate between these two plus drone. On Rally, I use drone plus this one. But yeah, I have a 1205 block. 36% counter damage, 24% reduction in basic, 10% AoE, 13% skill. Oh wait, squad damage reduction. 10% damage reduction, HP, 24% HP. But then, like, this is more like my damage output one. If I put this one on instead, then I have 15% damage reduction, 1200 block, 24% HP still, 50% defense, 27% counter, but then 20% skill damage reduction, 10% AoE. So this one's kind of more of like the tankier, beefier one, whereas opposed to this one just provides more damage because I have the counter damage on it, plus the damage output of the skill effect. And then also it's kind of convenient that Boyd gives like shield bonuses because the rare hone offers a shield as well, which is kind of nice. So I've just been using that more often. Jesus, tap dancing Christ. Why is
That's so funny to me. What the fuck? Jesus, Betsy Christ. Oh, bro, you can't have Chasey and not have the rare hone on EM turret, man. You need to have the rare hone on EM turret. That's painful. Once you have that, I feel like your damage output on Chasey becomes quite gnarly, actually. Like, that thing alone does really well on her. That's cool though, man. You're pushing 6 mil. That ain't no small feat at all. What's your total stats look like? Garrison. Yeah, so you're pretty much like Garrison build. I try to avoid a lot of Garrison hones, except strictly like Garrison counter damage. I have I think 2 of them, maybe 3 of them. Just simply because I try to keep all squad and infantry stats, so then I can use it in field, rally, or Garrison. Because in your case it makes sense, but like mine, I'm a tank rally as well for like AR and stuff, so I try to make sure my stats work in all the roles. Gonna reduce some Garrison for lethality block. Where are you at? Oh yeah, 500. You have 40% attack, 27% defense, 16% HP. If you had to make a preference here, I would say try to get your block up 200 more. If you were to reduce how many basic attacks, well, you can keep the basic attack damage one. Get rid of the counter damage first because you're scaling basic attack with her, right? I would keep the attack and basic attack as long as you can. But the counter damage one, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 hone slots, right? And if you got that as block, I mean, that's 260 block potentially. Yeah, I would trade the 16% counter damage for 200 plus more block, personally. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna say I haven't heard it in a while. I couldn't remember where I heard it from. You're right, it's from South Park. Cersei, if a garrison hero, what should be the best honing for them? It depends on which troop type you are, right? If you are... So all of your stats are multipliers of your base stats, right? So attack, defense, lethality, block, firepower, protection, everything scales off of your base stats, right? So if you're ranged, for example, let's look at a T6 range troop. Your base attack is 254. Your base defense is 207. 254, 207, and infantry is 208, 233. So the base attack for ranged is 20% higher than infantry, but infantry defense is also 15% higher than ranged, right? 10 or 15% higher than ranged. So you're going to get, for every point of attack or defense or lethality or block or whatever have you, if you put more into offensive stats on ranged, you're going to get 20% more effectiveness out of it than if you were to put aggressive or offensive hones on infantry, right? You're going to naturally get more out of it because you have a higher base stat that it's going to multiply against, which is the 254. So because of that, if you are ranged, I would typically, if you're a ranged garrison, then I would say do a 60-40 split. Definitely have some sustain for sure, because obviously you don't want to be a glass cannon in garrison, because just because you can deal a high amount of damage doesn't mean that it's effective. If you can get swarmed out or multi-rallies hit you and you just get obliterated, then your high damage doesn't mean anything over an elongated period of time. So I would put a 60-40 split for ranged garrison players, where most of your stats are in attack or lethality, as opposed to block or defense. If you're on infantry, if you're an infantry player and your mindset is I want to deal as much damage as an Ethan Garrison or a Chasey Garrison, that kind of a thing, it's just never going to happen, because you're already behind in the base stat of attack, so it doesn't matter how much you funnel into it. It's not going to happen. Plus, the way that the stats work, the skills work on heroes, it's just naturally far more in favor of damage for ranged and rider players in terms of dealing damage, and then for infantry it's a lot more sustained. So same thing, you're trying to fit a puzzle piece into a puzzle that it's just not going to fit if you're trying to do high damage on infantry. So you can go high damage on infantry because you already have high sustain and high sustain skills and stuff to help balance it out.
However, the approach and the way that I look at it is that your opponent can deal a lot of damage and you don't deal a lot of damage, but if you mitigate a lot of their damage with defense and block, you can bring down the total damage they're doing to the same level that you are. So instead of me trying to outpace my opponent that's using ranged and dealing more damage than them, if I have high defense and high block, then I can take, say, if I'm dealing 1500 damage per hit and they're doing 3000 damage per hit, but I have high defense and high block, I can bring that 3000 damage that they're dealing down to 1500 or below. Now all of a sudden, instead of me trying to scale my attack to out damage them, I'm just out sustaining them. I have so much sustain and defense and block and stuff that they're not dealing 3000 damage, they're dealing 1500, and in return for that, I'm now out damaging their damage, and I didn't scale into damage at all. So I only have 250 lethality, but I have 1200 block. But the reason for that is because I can mitigate so much damage that I end up dealing more damage than my opponent is, even if they have far higher attack or lethality than I do. That's the approach that I've taken, and it seems to have worked quite well. So, how does that rare hone on devices work? Like, how can you unlock it? I always heard of it, but never know how to unlock it. So, on gold devices on the 5th slot, or on superb armaments on the 5th slot, if you use purple honing fragments, or purple honing chips, whatever they're called, if you use those on the 5th slot and keep re-rolling, just like you getting a rare red hone, you have a chance at that rare red hone being the rare hone, the skill or whatever have you. And it's exclusive to superbs and gold devices. Yeah. Okay, so NM49 and UOD should be getting in fights soon. That's good. We'll come back to them in a bit. Is there anyone else to watch? So the more block and defense you have in honing and infantry, the more suitable for the block in the coming damage. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? Like, that's the way that block and defense works, right? Is that, like, they're going to deal X amount of damage, and the higher block or defense that you have, the less damage that's going to be that you're going to take out of that amount, because the way that it works is that it would be like them dealing 1,000 damage divided by your defense times block times whatever squad damage reduction, yada yada yada, and then that gives the final number that you actually are that you take in damage. And yeah, so from my end of things, rather than trying to out damage my opponents, I just try to make them deal such little damage that I actually out damage them. Yeah, it's completely at random. Just that's why I was saying it's like it's similar to getting a rare or a red home, where it's just like you just have to keep rolling to try to get it. I'm trying to think, what was the one that Prim was in 12, I think. So these guys are trying to get back into the fight. Chev. Prim is building down to try to cut the 6 here. They already cut these guys. Okay. What am I watching? Who's building? Oh, these guys are. As long as these guys don't build. I'm doing good. How are you? I have not been able to use Boyd on Garrison this event at all. But I will be using Boyd with Stella and then Boyd with Riven as well. What about the squad damage reduction honing? Is it good? Yes, squad damage and squad damage reduction are the best hones that you can get. An example of this is that you can see that I have a gold 3.9% squad damage here. The reason why it's like that and not red like every other hone that I have is that the 3.9% squad damage is actually stronger than a rare red hone. So I had a red hone in that slot, which I think was garrison counter damage, and I replaced it with the gold 3.9% squad damage because it's actually more power or stronger. So like if I try to rehone this, like if I had a red one and this one popped up and I went to just rehone past this one, it would say, are you sure you want to do that? The squad damage is actually stronger, which is why it's here. And then it maxes out at 5% for squad damage and squad damage reduction. Is it worth getting the rare hone on all superbs, or would it be better to have a max red hone in one of the 5th slot to support your play style? Yes. I have that same approach, and it depends on 2 things. 1, it depends on what troop type you are, and 2, more specifically, it depends on what role you're playing. So I have all the rare hones for infantry because I tank, rally, and I also garrison, so one way or another, they're very beneficial. However, on my range set, I don't have the rare hone in every 5th slot because I only use ranged for rally. So I only take rare hones that apply to rallies where you're dealing basic attack damage and skill damage at all times, but you're not dealing counterattack damage. So I took the rare hone on the weapon because that's going to increase all your damage. I took the rare hone on the chest because basic attacks have a 20% chance to grant additional rage, which I'm always dealing basic attack damage, whether I am the first rally that's hitting the tower, the second, the third, it doesn't matter. I'm always dealing basic attack damage, so that's always going to proc. And then I took the pants because it increases basic attack damage dealt to enemy squads when debuffed by 15%. So same thing, since it's proccing off of basic attack damage, or giving additional basic attack damage, which I'm always dealing, I wanted to take it. One I will not take is the backpack because the rare hone on this is for counterattacks. So counterattacks have a 20% chance to reduce the enemy's attack by 25%. In order for me to be dealing a counterattack to a tower, I need the tower to be focusing me. So I would need to be the tank rally at that point. And typically if I'm using my range rally instead of my infantry one, it's because I'm either a counter rally or I am a second or third rally on that tower and someone else is tanking, right? So if someone else is tanking, or if I'm a counter rally, I'm not dealing counter damage to that tower or that rally. I'm just dealing basic attack damage because they're not focusing me. So this would actually never proc if I'm playing it the way that I am. With boots, I'm not taking the rare hone either because it's every 15 seconds. So rather than something that I need to wait 15 seconds to use and then only have up for 20% of that cooldown, so every 15 seconds I can have it for 3 seconds, then I have to wait another 15 seconds. So it's really only a 20% efficiency here. Although it's nice, I would rather have something that's like 43 block or preferably a perfectly honed block or lethality or whatever have you that is up 100% of the time, right? And I think it was the same with helmet. Yeah, when taking skill damage. So same thing here as the backpack. If I'm not the focus of the tower or the counter rally, I'm never taking skill damage unless it's like an AoE garrison or an AoE rally that I'm hitting to where I am taking skill damage. So this would require me to be tanking the tower or them using AoE. So it's something that, again, I'm not in control of, so I'd rather have something that's always up. So same thing there. Boyd Stella or Boyd Ribbon and Garrison? Both. I think it depends on, for 1, the matchup, 2, your armaments and your build, and 3, if you're tanking a single rally or if you're tanking a multi-rally. Because Stella, for example, is going to stack Warwill stacks far faster and get this damage out if she's on multi-rally Garrison. As opposed to if you're just tanking a single rally, it's going to stack far slower. So in that case, rather than having the damage output, it may be better to have more sustain with the bonus shields and shield health from Riven. I think it just depends on, again, your matchup and really like what your armaments are set up as well. It's hard to say. I see that you can rare home, but I don't see any 5th slot. It just goes in this 5th slot. So this where you see rare is a 5th slot. So like if I was to hone this thing here, the rare hone would replace this spot where ranged squad lethality is at. So if you do ranged rally
garrison and field. Let me think about that. Let me think. Hold on. The backpack one may be one to consider because you don't have as much sustain in ranged garrisons. You do have, like, Sophie and Ethan both have high HP now, right? But they don't have super high, like, defense stats and stuff, like in terms of the hero skills. So reducing the enemy attack could be very beneficial on garrison. I would still probably avoid the boots just off of the simple fact that, yes, reducing their defense by 25% is nice, but again, this is like a 20% efficiency hone where, like, you're only getting it every 15 seconds, right? So you may be better off with just more lethality or more block or attack here. So maybe skip the boots. And then I feel like this is a 6-second cooldown and you already have high damage output with ranged anyways. I would say you could probably skip the helmet as well. I would say that if of any of the three that I don't have, maybe I would take the backpack because that's going to help your survivability, which is a pain point for ranged. You're dealing so much damage, but, you know, especially like a multi-rally, you can get demolished pretty quick if they have multiple riders. So the sustain factor of the backpack one, I would say, is probably good, and then definitely take the damage output that's up 100% from the other three. That would be my recommendation. So, yeah, so what you do, right, in order to get the rare hone in the 5th slot, you have to have something that has this gold border around the armament. So whether it be a gold device that always has the gold border, or you can see like a normal gold armor piece or weapon piece doesn't have the border, but the ones that do, those ones can get the rare hone in the 5th slot. And then in order to get the rare hone in the 5th slot, you have to unlock the 5th slot, and then you have to use purple chips in order to get it. So you can see may grant max value hone attributes. Technically speaking, one of the max hone attributes is this rare hone here. So rare hone attributes may appear in the 5th slot when honing, which is this one. Yeah, no problem at all. Which one is better for field? Boyd/Eileen. I would say Eileen, off of the simple fact that she's far cheaper, and she's far cheaper to enable in the field, right? So, like, for Boyd to be super good in the field, for one, you have to transcend his second skill, so that then you remove the win garrison increasing skill damage, so that then instead you just have skill damage bonus in the field as well. Plus, the other part that everybody likes about him is on his 4th one, when transcended, when not garrisoned, whatever have you, it increases the rage recovery speed. So I feel like it requires more spend, more fragments, more whatever relics, whatever have you, to get Boyd to the point where he shines really well in field, as opposed to Eileen. She's also pretty expensive because you have to technically awaken her in order to make it where you remove this squad size being more than 50%, then you deal AoE to where you just have AoE at all times. But again, you don't need extra fragments or you don't need cores for one to get the weapon up, and then fragments to then transcend the skills. So in that sense, I would say Eileen. Eileen does really, 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 really well in field. So just because Boyd is more expensive doesn't mean he's more effective. Ouch. That hurts. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense though, C2. Weak, but in the right idea. Yes. Yes, especially if strictly garrison, if you use that set in field and / or rallies, I would steer away from garrison specific hones. Yeah, I mean, it looks good here. You've got good amount of lethality, 530. Maybe get your block up here to help sustain. You do have good defense to make up for it, though. You have a good balance of attack. Maybe go, even if you're doing garrison hones, go less on the garrison basic, more towards garrison counter damage if you can, because basic only deals damage to one squad out of 3 if you're getting multi-rally, but that's the only other thing. Other than that, yeah, you're good. Okay, so you have 1 and 3 done. Okay, gotcha. Hold on, getting a phone call. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Gotcha, okay. So, I feel like with this report... Yeah, huh. I mean, it's really just the garage, right? That's like the big gap here. Plus, I know that you're at 6 mil, but I also know that he's over 7. Oh, wait, this is his range set where it's not all perfect honed out. So maybe not. Maybe he's just like right at 7. Beast chips. Oh, he doesn't even have OC chips on his stuff? Interesting. Interesting. When the active skill deals a critical hit, has a 60% chance to grant crit damage, 39% for the current attack, and 40% chance to increase leader skill damage by 33 the next time it's used. Huh. Gotcha. Yeah, big gap here is the garage. That's painful, though. It's kind of interesting. What is the I mean, the refill is pretty consistent. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. Like, let me see if we can see when he does. Oh wow, Sonic Pulse killed quite a few troops. What's the skill that gives a high shield? Oh wait, it's not on here. I wonder if you need to have the skill transcended. Maybe you do. I just want to see, like, what does the shield health look like? 2,000. Okay, so like 2,000 shield factor, like how much health is that? 5 mil. My counterattack took out almost half of the shield health. Yeah, Samuel's no joke. Snooze, bro. Just going from so I'm going to port the alley pad, then I'll use a random teleport. I'll see it then. Interesting. That's fine. Sorry guys, I'm trying to like catch my train of thought here. What were we watching? G2, G4. G2. G1. Oops. So wait, LL67 isn't allies with SSI? But LL67 is hitting 59E? I'm so confused. Actually, I have a way to solve this. Where's my boy? Where's my boy? He's not up here. Yo. What are some of the other ones? G3, G5? Ah, shit. Yo, man, someone's got to give me something. Is there any wars going on anywhere? Some lame shit, man. Oh, shit. SMHS is actually probably going to try to fight this. Yeah, okay. Maybe. We'll see. Nothing there. So it's literally just SMHS, like, solo pushing this, huh? Maybe it's not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. 11. DNTN, really? Push back. Oh, they're allied. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's bro. I think the last time we had bro in IR, we were fighting against INF as well. That's funny. Let's go see what Prim is up to these days. Big Daddy. Damn, Moppy is just moving. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing. Well, guys, I don't know what to watch. There is not much happening anywhere. Unless any of you guys know of any G brackets currently fighting, I don't. Yo, what's up? What's up? Wish I could give you something to watch. I'm trying to find something to watch myself so I don't freaking fall asleep, but there is not much to watch. Okay, never mind. I guess 5090 doesn't even know. What the fuck? That's funny. Usually after the 8 is captured, not much happens. Yeah, it's kind of like a coin flip, right? Is like the last day can either be like the most boring day or sometimes it's like the most active. Like if you get like 2 fairly even 4v4 teams, sometimes if you're lucky you can catch like a really strong or like a really aggressive double push on the 8 from both sides, which is fun to watch. But it's a coin flip for sure. See how long people sustain.
And I was kind of hoping that we could catch one where that is the case. Like for us, for example, I think like not this last IR, but the one before it, we were 1v2 at the 8. Like it was us against 2 of the teams on the other side that had pushed for the 8 as well. We were 1v2 at the 8 for the last day. Like we rushed there, we captured the level 8 first, and then we were able to speed build and get 2 towers down on the other side of the 8 and then hold there in the 1v2. So it's definitely possible. We've been a part of it quite a bit, but I think we're only allied with VIP. Been fighting LL67, Oldie, and SSI, and ICL was all alone. Ooh, you got something for me? Oh, you guys gonna do another hold? How long in the tower? 11 minutes. I'll be back in 11 minutes. What was I just watching? His SAAS's. What bracket was it? It was like G30 something. I think 37 or something like that. $38. Let's watch Crypt Rally here. Who do they have? Admiral E. This guy's really strong as well. That guy's no joke. Played against him plenty. You probably won't send me anything that I'm surprised at. I'll be shocked about the matchup, sure. I'll probably just roll my eyes. But seeing some of the matchups and pairings and places that Alliances got, including our own this bracket, or this matching, I'm just not surprised. I think, I was saying it earlier, I think this whole thing where they put like 1 to 2 really strong alliances and then fill the rest of the void with alliances in that actual like power range that should be in that bracket is the dumbest fucking thing. My internet speed, I have 1 gig down, 1 gig up. I'll give you the G and you can see. Yeah, let me know. Boyd review? I'll do a Boyd review once I'm able to actually like fully use him. I wanted to have him fully transcended, but I spent so much, what are those things called? The thing to get the cores in TC, I used 9,000 of them in the first TC round for Boyd, that I just didn't have any for the second round, so I'm going to have to wait until like the end of next month to get the last skill of Boyd transcended. And I mean, you guys know me, I kind of do like in-depth analysis on everything, so I need to like have Boyd fully done, plus to use them in all scenarios, like field, rally, garrisons, single garrison, multi-rally garrisons, all the pairs, everything in between, have all the data, have all the numbers and stuff. Then I'll be able to do a report. Or a video. 209, Jesus Christ, does it go that high? No, it's not an internet speed issue. It's your CPU and RAM. It's just that your computer is not able to handle that many of them at once. That many instances at once. T-map totally messed up with their might to get in a lower bracket. Well, they're definitely dominating, that's for sure. G209. Oh my god, you have 1, 2, 3, pretty much 4 200 mil plus players. It's not, well, they didn't really mess with their might. So, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is unique to Island Raid, and you cannot do this in any other game mode. So in every other game mode, when you register at the end of the day and it locks, and then at reset, when it locks, whatever have you, you go into matchmaking, right? Island Raid is the unique one where you can actually lock your roster prior to reset, and then at reset you go into matchmaking. But in Island Raid, because of the way they have it set up, where you can like choose your roster and stuff like that, you need to have 40 to 50 active players in order to qualify to register, like it says. However, at reset, you don't need to register with 40 to 50 players. You can actually register with like 16, 20, 25 players, whatever, even though it says you need to have 40 to 50, you only need to have 40 to 50 to qualify to register, and then you can register with as little players as you want. We tested this. I think NBD, our neighbor in the region, did it this round as well. I think they only registered with like 27 or 30 players or something like that. When we registered the last time, I think we only registered with like 32 players, I think, even though it says that you need to have 40 to 50. And it's unique to Island Raid because you can lock your registration prior to the closing. For AR, for GW, you need to have 40 to 50 players in your roster at reset still. But Island Raid, you don't. So it looks like they manipulated it, but what they probably did is they strictly just registered like these players and then down to like this 70 mil player here, this 50 mil player, whatever have you. So like all the rest of this is just unregistered altogether. So they registered with like 2, 4, 6, 8, call it a bill, 1, 5, 3. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2 bill, and then 3, 6, 9. Yeah, they registered with probably like shy of 3 bill power. Or sorry, shy of 4 bill power, not 3 bill power. Sorry. Registered with 3.6, yeah. So it makes sense. Dr. Jackal plays Lord Mobile 2Z. He might. I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. I'm friends with him, but I don't know that much about him. What was I watching? 38. So it looks like Crypto have a rally in 5 minutes. I don't really know about the rest here. But yeah, what I was talking about, snipers, like that's unique to Island Raid only. So you'll see alliances that typically should be around maybe like 5 bill, whatever have you. Like if you really have 40 to 50 players is the requirement. But in Island Raid, because you don't have that requirement and you can strictly register with just the amount of players that like are actually fighters in your group, you'll have alliances actually registering with their actual combat might rather than combat might plus inflation to meet the 40 or 50 player count. Because like for us, for example, we have 35 fighters in our alliance, but then we need to hit a 50 player count requirement for Genesis War, for AR I think it is. So we need to fill 15 player slots with like farms or alt accounts. You don't need to do that in Island Raid, and so that extra inflated might or whatever have you, or bloat, you don't need to do that. Yeah, we didn't know that either, but our NBD in our region pointed it out I think like 2 or 3 IRs ago when they brought out the new registration system. And they were like, hey, if you check the wording, I think that it works like this. We're going to test it. And they did, and it worked. And then we did it once, and it worked also. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Does anyone else have any other islands to watch, by the way? How much time we got on this? 4 minutes left. We'll be back. But like, yeah, like we, for example, like we did that too, right? So we have almost 12 bill might, but because we registered with strictly fighters, we registered with 7.8. So we dropped by 4 bill power just by removing everybody that like isn't actually a fighter. Like we have so many alts and farms and accounts that are just like inactive and stuff. So like there's like 200, 150, 150, 150, 130, 140. Like all this adds up like quick. And then instead we just register with like, I mean, we're at 7.8 bill registration, but we have like an almost 600 mil player, 400 mil player, 300 mil, 300 mil, 300 mil, right? So like when you register with strictly like your combat power and stuff, then you actually get appropriately placed. But I don't. Let me correct that. You appropriately register with the power that you have, but IGG's matchmaking puts you in an inappropriate bracket. Like those guys that you fought against, it should weigh their top end players far more, and they should probably be about at least 50 brackets further up than they are, even if their registration power is so low. It's just that IGG's matchmaking is out of whack, so they then register, or they matchmake instead more off of the total power, and in the end you get screwed for it. But if IGG actually had like a good matchmaking system, they would have actually had like, you know, a better matchup, and it would have been more fun for both of you. Like realistically, we should be in G6, but we're not. But to give you an example of even more so, like, it doesn't make any sense. DNTN here in G11, I think we registered at like place 60th, like 60th rank for might registration of overall alliances. DNTN registered at like 40, and they are one bracket behind us. So if you're like, the argument that I was saying is that like it goes mostly off of your like might. They had so much more might than us, and they were 20 ranks higher than us, and yet they placed one G bracket behind us. So like while we were aiming for G6 and we're like, well, why are we in G10? DNTN has no explanation as to why they're in G11, you know? So I have no idea. Yeah, I think it does, right? So I think that IR does take battle rating into account, but I think that the problem is the way that they try to structure it. Because the way that, if you look at the IR maps, and you can do this in your own, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but this is just like an observation that I've seen with a lot of people. If you go to your map and you just click on the rating of everybody, like in our bracket, a lot of teams are 6.9, 6.7, 6.3, 5.7, 6.1, 5.9, right? So between 5.7 and 6.9, there's like a 1 to 1.2 bill range there, right? From 5.7 to 6.9. Then all of a sudden we're at 7.8, and PG is at 8.6. Now all of a sudden, instead of 6 alliances being within 1 bill power of each other, you have 8 alliances that are within 3 bill power of each other, right? Like you double the range on just the last 2 alliances, but then the other 6 alliances are within a 1 bill margin of each other, right? But then the other 2 alliances are 3 built, like, you know, they take that range and they double or triple it. So there seems to be a pattern where they put 1 to 2 alliances that are far stronger, or, you know, 10 to 20% stronger than the other alliances are in terms of like the range of power. And then they fill the other 6 that are within a range. So all these other guys are like 5.7 to 6.9. And then there's the outliers of 7.8 and 8.6. And I think that that's under the assumption that like your bracket should be like PGO plus 3 weaker alliances versus FIB and 3 weaker alliances. But I think that that's a stupid matchmaking system. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't really do matchmaking off of armaments because you can simply just like take them off. Yeah. And then people are like, oh, well, you just shouldn't be, like, you should still be able to take those into account. And it's like, not all 7 mil or 6 mil or 5 mil armament sets are built equally, right? Like, you can have a 6 mil ranged, or 6 mil rally armament set and have it be all garrison hones, or just like the wrong troop type hones, but they're all red and you just kept them because they're red, even though they don't do anything for you. And then on paper, it's still 6 mil, but it performs like a 3 mil set. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really hard to find a way to use armaments to account for actual combat rating, since you can take them off and stuff. No, they brought out the summary reports, and then they brought out that next patch or update, and it just removed them. We have no idea what happened to them. They never said, and everybody's been asking for them back since. So they kind of gave us it back. We're giving us like the summary thing, but they didn't give us like the full summary like they used to, which sucks. I miss the old summary. I do. Like you have like the battle overview at the top, so you still have like the summary in a sense, but it's not the same as like what it used to be. Like it's not on all of them. Or no, sorry, it's not that it's not all of them. It's just it's not the same as what it used to be. You have to have been hit by multiple enemies or whatever have you. Yes, they did announce that they will be bringing out the garrison restrictions. We just don't know when. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, sniper. So you either like you could have a 5 mil armament set that's perfectly honed for your role, or just perfectly honed in general, and that 5 mil set will absolutely demolish a 6 mil set that is not very well honed. You know, I've seen plenty of people that are like, "Oh, I have a 6.5 mil armament set. I'm going to be the rally lead in AR for like their team," and then you look at their rally lead armament set, and it's like they have like 14 garrison hones. And it's like, okay, so that just means that 14 slots are completely inactive during the rally. So really your 6.5 mil set is performing like a 4 mil set. And they're like, well, why am I getting destroyed? And it's like, well, because you don't actually have a 6.5 mil rally set. You have a 6.5 mil garrison set. But that's it. Did this rally launch yet? What the hell is happening? Where did Crypt go? I saw people going to him for a rally, and then now he's just... Is he up here? Where did you go, Crypt? What the fuck? Okay. Crypt is just a ghost. G2. Well, I try not to say, are you kidding me? Because, like, not everybody actually, like, really fully understands that. And, you know, everybody's learning. And it's, like, it's on me to try to help educate and teach people and stuff. But, I do get that a lot more often than you would think. Where they're like, hey, here's my hero. They share it with me. It's a 6 mil plus armament set. And they're like, I have a 6 mil armament set. I rallied this Rider garrison. They don't even have superb armaments. It looks like a 4 mil set. Why did I get destroyed? Infantry should be beating Rider. Why is this the case? And then you look at their hones and you're like, well, actually, it's because you don't have any hones that actually work in rally. You should have somebody else do it. But everybody's learning, right? Like they see 6 mil on paper for a lot of people, and they're like, "Oh, I have a 6 mil. It's awesome," and it is. Don't get me wrong. It's just that it's not a one size fits all kind of thing. Not all 6 mils are made equal. But at the same time, like, you know, unless you get that question answered, you're always gonna wonder why you're getting destroyed. So I'm glad I could help them. Someone in my alliance is running Bianca Claude as a ranged main, and she said it works well. Huh? Bianca? Yeah. I mean, sure if you want, but... Oh shit, sorry, man. Sorry, man. So, I wish I was a victor. What's the word I'm thinking of? Oh. Sorry, guys. I kind of tunnel vision when I type. Yeah, if it was up to me, man, and there's like one thing I would change on my account and one thing I could do different, it's that I would have gone a leader garrison set instead of an infantry garrison set and done that. It's just that at the time, this, like, I think it was like, what, 6 months after armaments were released, that they were like, oh, leader armaments are extremely hard to get, and we're making them a lot easier. Yada, yada, yada. And so, like, because of that, I had already spent 6 months investing into infantry armament homes, and making the pivot just didn't make any sense to do. And I think it was also really hard to get Victor fragments too, because of the roulette or whatever. It was like so rare to pop up, so I just didn't do it. But that is one thing that I would do differently on this account, is I would have gone leader as a garrison set and just done squad lethality, squad block, squad attack, squad defense, and garrison like skill damage and stuff, and just be able to use that with all troop types. Okay, so that didn't last long. Crypt is still just Casper the Friendly Ghost, huh? Did he go back to Region or something? I just don't see him. Okay. I don't know. So we'll call it. Let's just say that we're using block here. So we were missing 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420, 480, 540, 600, 660, 720, 780, 840. Yeah, so if we exchanged every troop specific hone for a squad block, for example, in your set, you'd have 840 more. What is that? That's 10, 14, 14 times 5 is 70. The ratio? I was just converting, right? So he has a mixture of like ranged plus infantry and stuff. So like these infantry ones won't work on ranged troops. These ranged ones won't work on infantry troops, which won't work on rider and stuff. So I was just saying, like, if he, instead of like making it where 14 hones are troop specific, and of the 14, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 3. So instead of, if I'm using rider, 8 of my hones
or infantry 6 of my hones, those things like that are like just null and void and not being used. Instead of missing out on 8 slots, 6 slots times 60 attack or block, whatever have you, which is, 360 to 480 more block or lethality or whatever have you. I was just telling him like that, like if you were to just convert it and even just take like the gold hones, you'll do a lot better. Yeah, that's the thing. You've got 14 troop specific home slots. I gotta do this again, sorry. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 4, 1, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, 6, 2, 3, 6, 3, 4, 7, 3 of one troop type, 4 of another, and 7 of another troop type. When you're doing a troop specific garrison, like ranged only or rider only or imp only, sudden 7 to 11 slots are completely null and void. So rather than aiming for red homes, just take the gold 3 to 4%. They're just going to help based on whatever. Yeah, your 6 mil. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I kind of tunnel vision whenever I'm trying to help someone on something in chat. Hard for me to focus on that chat plus the stream chat and stuff. I don't know if there's going to be any other action, guys. This might be the end of it. I wanted to jump on the stream and be able to like watch some fights and stuff and give you guys something to watch and like let's just all spectate this together, but seems like everybody, well, actually at the same time I can't really fault it. There's a lot of infantry players in the game that have gone for Boyd specifically, and so a lot of resources and speed ups and stuff have been used in the last month. I do know that, myself included, so we'll take a look at a couple others just in case. Prim is just pushing. Yeah, man, of course. Yeah. All right, guys. I don't see anything else really happening, unfortunately. And my little one will be back home shortly. That's the phone call I was on. They're on their way back home. They were at a baby shower. So I'm going to hang out with her as soon as she gets back. 'Cause she's been gone all day. So I think I'm just going to call it and make some food real quick before they get home. If action picks up later, like I'm still gonna be on the phone on my game, or the game on my phone. If I do see that there's other G brackets and stuff like that do pop off, and it's some action picks up or something kicks off later on, like I could do a late night stream later on when she goes to bed. So if you guys see me go live later, that'll be what we're doing. But I appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all sticking around. If you guys have any other questions or anything that you guys want me to answer, please feel free to message me in game anytime. Happy to answer them. I apologize if I've missed your messages. You can also message me on Discord or commented on this video after it's been posted. But yeah, appreciate y'all being here. Y'all have a good one, all right? Stay safe. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.